Mackenzie, over here. There.
Hello.
How are you?
Does it work?
Yep. I feel like we've been talking about you in a title fight since your debut and how long it would take to get there. So I guess now we're only a few days away from you getting your first title shot. So I guess what are the emotions? How's camp been? And I guess what are you doing differently now, if anything, for this camp?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. Obviously, I think the way that everything happened with Whaley vacating and Virna being the number one contender, I don't think that, I think that that win over Virna 5 years ago, that obviously I wasn't training to fight for the belt back then. I was just trying to grow the ranks and get into my own, learn the whole sport. But that set me up to be fighting for the title now. And it's really like surreal how this happened, I think that kind of the focus was always just to like day after day and get better and trying to get better and put myself in uncomfortable situations and to like feel that we made it here and that this is a great matchup for us. It's against someone that I beat before. Obviously, it could go any way, but it definitely gives you a little bit like, it's possible. So yeah, we just kept training and we're focused on training. This camp, I mean, my last fight with Amanda was 8 months ago. So I mean, this whole camp we were training just everywhere, but we didn't train anything specific for Virna. But yeah, I think we just kind of trained to be a lot of sparring and be ready for whatever comes.
Are you happy with the path to the title? Because like I said, I feel like if you got a title shot earlier in your career, people would have expected that. But it's kind of been this longer journey for you. So are you happy with how it played out? Just get better inside the octagon?
Yeah, I mean, if I could not go through like broken noses and the losses, I mean, that, of course, you have like lots of times you think like, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. I should go back to jiu-jitsu, that's, I was like winning everything. And I like basically started like humbled myself to start something new and become like a white belt and just like learn and go through, especially on a bigger platform with all these critics and, just the UFC fans, they like love you and then hate you and then they love you again, so it's a lot of roller coaster ride. So, I mean, I can't say I wish I didn't have like an undefeated career like Ronda Rousey and that would be amazing, but I'm proud of my journey. And I think that's what's going to help me be a great champion is the adversity that I went through. I think everyone has different styles, so I see myself similar to like Charles DeBronx, who kind of, everyone saw that he had so much potential and he's kind of up and down and he's been at it for a while and he has all these submissions. But when they're a champion, it's like they really have a lot of light in them and, they don't just retire after, So I think I'll be more prepared for what comes at me. Winning this title, whoever comes next, what are the next obstacles because of everything I went through, then, I don't know, like maybe Tatiana Suarez, who was undefeated, and then when she did fight for the belt, it was like a big difference, in the levels and everything like that. So I'm really proud to be, to potentially become a champion that can do a little bit of everything. That was my goal.
How often, or have you at all watched that first fight? Because I feel like when they look at your career, they talk about the war against Andrade and the wars against Marina, but I feel like that first fight against Virna is maybe a little overlooked, because I think you broke your nose in that fight. I think you had just started with Jason too, so I guess from there to now, like, how have you rewatched that, and when you watched that, what do you think?
Yeah, I didn't watch it that much, but when we did schedule the fight, I think I watched it like 2 weeks ago. And I was just like, man, look how I was throwing. Look how crazy we were going. I think we showed a lot of heart. And like I said, I think I was number 13 and she was like maybe 12 or I don't remember. We were kind of back we were in the ranking, but we were, back on the end part of the rankings. And just to see how we were just like trying to do our best, both grapplers exchanging on the striking, you know what I mean? So I think we both kind of just wanted to see who got better at our striking, who got more better in our striking. And just like the adversity, like getting my nose, that was the first time I ever got like a real injury in MMA, the broken nose. And I mean, I think the biggest thing I watch is just coach telling me like, no, you're fine. And like just seeing myself go in and out of focused on the fight and focused on my nose and thinking like, okay, am I bad? Is this good? Is that bad? And when I see that now, I see like, man, how I'm way focused now. And if something like that was to happen, my mind's already like, it's already protected. You know what I mean? It's not something that's gonna distract me. So yeah, it was cool to see really what your body can go through and how your mindset, you can bring yourself back in, and how important coach was for me. And I think that's why we're so happy we made it here. He's had lots of champions, and he's super excited he could have one more champion.
How much of a change have you seen in Virna's game? Because obviously she seems to be on the biggest run of her career, and like yourself, she had a couple setbacks and didn't know if she would make it this far either.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Virna, she's gotten so much better just with her fight IQ, and being able to implement her style, Yeah, I went on and I fought like Marina Rodriguez, I fought Young Shannon, I fought Amanda Lemos, and I had like crazy wars with them, but, I felt I was on the losing end of those. And then Virna, she fought all of those girls after I fought them, So I think she kind of was able to see like, okay, that's not what to do, and yeah, put her game and be able to submit and take them to the ground, not getting punched as much as I do in fights. So I think she's gotten a lot better, but yeah, it's cool.
And I don't know if you know this or anyone told you, but if you win, you would become the first woman to be an ADCC champ and a UFC champ. There's been 3 men, but no women have done it. Is that important to you? Do you think about that? And what do you think about making history there?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for sure that, but I know I'll be the first woman. There's only been one guy, Fabricio Verdum, who's done World IBJJF, Abu Dhabi World Pro, ADCC, and UFC title, and Fabricio Verdum is the only man who's ever done all of those 4, and I could be the only woman to do that. So that's definitely, it's just being a champion of the UFC is making history, So to be able to do that and representing, ADCC, which is like submission grappling, and jiu-jitsu, they're similar, but they're not the same, So I'd really like to just solidify my name in history, and if we can make like Hall of Fame eventually one day for most submissions, and the sky's the limit, But definitely puts more incentive for me to be the champion.
Just last one for me. What did you make of Bia's debut in Rio? Because obviously someone you have history with, she's already talking about like, I would welcome Ronda Rousey back. I want this quick journey. So what did you make of her performance, and would you have any advice for her making her debut from the grappling world?
Yeah, me and Bia, we've been friends since we were like 12 years old, 13 years old, training together. So it's really, really great to see another, world champion jiu-jitsu girl here. Even Jacqueline Amorin, who's also fighting on this card. We know from the jiu-jitsu community and how we used to fight and train and stuff like that. So I was so happy for Bia's performance, her ground and pound. I feel like she's adapting so good, and she's, an American top team training with Kyla Harrison and all the girls. So I really think she's going to go far in the division, and I'm proud of her. And yeah, I mean, she's Aries like me, so she's very competitive, and she's like very initiating and, independent. So, but the best like goals I can, or advice I could give her is just, to believe in her ground game and her takedowns, and not to get into any unnecessary wars.
Charles seems to think now's the time they could do a stadium show in Brazil, because he's a superstar. Pereira got the belt back. You or Virna could be a champ. Jailton is right there. So do you think now's the time to have a big stadium show down in Brazil?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think we'll be the Brazilians fans, whoever. My last time I fought in Brazil was at UFC Rio, and it was amazing. And yeah, I mean, the UFC fans in Brazil, they're amazing. Everyone who goes there, they can feel the energy, so for sure.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm Mackenzie, and welcome back to Abu Dhabi. Obviously, you've enjoyed great success in Abu Dhabi, particularly in your grappling career, particularly at the Abu Dhabi World Pro. Do you feel any kind of sense of destiny that from that stage of your career to now potentially becoming a champion in the UFC, how it's kind of like a full circle moment maybe?
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing I was talking about this like the beginning of the year before I fought Amanda Ribas. I said, man, could you imagine if I fight for the belt in 2025 and I won the world title, I won the world title in jiu-jitsu in 2025? 2015. I was like exactly 10 years later, you know. And then it came the idea of what if it's in Abu Dhabi, you know, that would be amazing because I won the world title in 2015. I won my Abu Dhabi world title, which was my first world title black belt, April 25th, 2015 here in Abu Dhabi. And I'm fighting October 25th, 2025 in Abu Dhabi for another world title, you know? So for me, I was already imagining how crazy this would be, and it really did happen. And I mean, you can't plan things like that, you know, like the exact day, the 25, the location. You know, before this, I was like, man, I would like to fight in Brazil, you know, like, would be amazing to fight on the card. And then they said, no, Abu Dhabi. I'm like, okay, I prefer Abu Dhabi, you know? So I really think it's destiny. I don't know what the results will be exactly on Saturday, but I really believe that the stars are aligned, and I did all my work in these 10 years. And it's not just those 10 years. Obviously, I've been training since I'm 5 years old. So this is a long time coming, and I feel like now is the time. And to be here in Abu Dhabi with so many great results, I've never had a bad experience here. So I don't plan on having a bad experience on Saturday either.
That's good. You've already mentioned yourself and Jandiroba. You've had to overcome adversity, setbacks, injuries, critics. And again, you mentioned like the stars are kind of aligning. Do you really feel like Saturday will be your crowning glory, if you will?
I do. I really do. I think it'll be a good night for me. I think I'll be comfortable there. I don't really see, like I said, she's gonna have to like or knock me out. If she knocks me out, congrats to her. If she submits me, congratulations. But I mean, I'm not training my whole life to lose a title because I'm like stalled, because she stalled me or put me on the cage and she's just holding on to me. So I really don't feel like, I mean, I know my grappling is higher level than hers. That's just with the results in all the competitions. But I mean, it's MMA, you know what I mean? We've seen like black belts get submitted by purple belts and things like that. And, but I mean, if there's a way for her to win this fight strategically by points or by like just kind of slowing me down, I'm not gonna let that happen. So I really believe that it's gonna be a comfortable fight, especially because I like pushing forward. I'm not scared of the brawls. I'm not scared of whatever I need to do to win. And then yeah, I mean, if she submits me or knocks me out, congrats, that's her day, you know. But I fought in Amanda Lemos who punches really, really hard. I fought in Jessica Andrade who punches really, really hard. And I didn't go, like I said, I was battle tested, you know. So from my experience with her, I didn't feel anything like what the girls I fought have brought to the game. Yeon Shannon, who rocked me on my chin, you know. I really exchanged with the striking with these girls. And like I said, grappling is my home. So I don't know how much she'll want to stay 25 minutes exchanging on the ground, but I feel like it'll be a good night.
Thank you.
Hi, Mackenzie. You're an elite grappler, but Virna is seen like that as well. And sometimes when we've got this kind of matchup, it ends up as a fist fight. Do you think it's a possibility, or no matter what, you think this fight will end on the ground?
Yeah, our first fight, we stayed the 3 rounds exchanging on the striking. So this time, I definitely think it will be on the ground. I don't think we'll be the whole time on the ground, but I think the fans will see a very like MMA fight. You know, I think there will be cage. I think we'll be striking. I think there'll be grappling. I think we'll be a little bit of everything, because now it's 5 rounds and we're fighting for the title. So there has to be a little bit. The first time we fought was just to like, go crazy, try to win. You know, now it's like we want to win, but you want to make sure you win. You know, so you play smarter. I don't think Virna likes to get punched in the face, so I think she'll do her best to, you know, stay out of the crazy exchanges. And if she gets a good position, I think she'll try to get that. But yeah, I think we're going to have a little bit of everything in 5 rounds, especially because, you know, cardio, and you want to make sure you have enough intensity for all 25 minutes.
Last one for me. Imagine you're Mystic Mackenzie. Can you give us a precise prediction, and do you have a favorite sub, for example, to end this fight?
I think my favorite submission is the omoplata. I do it a lot. I landed it with a lot of the girls, but I was only able to submit a few, but I'm always attacking that. I got it like with Amanda Ribas, but she ended up getting out. I got it with Marina Rodriguez, but she ended up the round finish. Yeon Shannon, I did it on her too. So I definitely think if they're in my guard, that's something that I attack a lot, is the omoplata. But I don't know if I'll get that with Virna. But I just see my hand getting raised. I don't know how. I don't know if it'll be with a knockout. I don't know if it'll be submission. But I just see my hand getting raised.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Mackenzie. Welcome again to Abu Dhabi. My question, I know you are focused on your next opponent, but after your win, hopefully this weekend, any names that pop up in your head, like maybe Wang Zili or any other fighter that you would be interested to defend your title?
I would like to fight Tatiana Suarez. You know, when Carla was active, I was trying to fight. Virna is the only like grappler that I've ever fought, you know, and that was 5 years ago. Everyone else has always been strikers. So I would like to test myself with some grapplers, you know. So I'd really like to fight Tatiana Suarez, who's a wrestler. Of course, Weili, if she decides to come back down. But you know, or maybe get one of my losses, another rematch, you know. But I think Tatiana Suarez would be an interesting fight for me. I would like to do that.
Last question. Now, when two Brazilians are fighting for the title, do you feel that women MMA in Brazil is at another level?
Yes, I definitely think that Brazil is very strong in women's MMA, not just with the two Brazilians fighting for the belt, but if you look at the top 15, I think 7 or 8 are Brazilian. So it's like more than half of the top of the rank are Brazilian girls. And so, yeah, definitely it's a lot of, we need to be a little bit crazy to fight, you know. The girls are tough, you know, really Brazilian.
All the best, Mackenzie. You have a big fan base here in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you so much.
Маккензи, hello. Не секрет, что фанаты UFC любят тебя не только за выступления в октагоне, но и за внешнюю привлекательность. И вот в связи с этим вопрос, сколько раз в неделю ты делаешь приседания со штангой и какой был максимальный вес?
It's not a secret that UFC fans like you not just for your aggressive nature and your fighting style in the octagon, but also for your good looks. So the question is, how many times a week do you squat, and what's your squatting weight? What do you squat?
I do like a lot of repetitions of squats, but not too heavy. Of course, when I get in fight camp, I go like heavier, but usually it's like every single day I squats, Monday through Saturday. And like 60 pounds, 70 pounds, I do like sumo squats. A lot of like repetitions, 24 of 20. I work a lot.
Не очень много веса, но очень часто. Приседаю каждый день с понедельника по субботу. Если говорить про неделю боя, то может быть чуть-чуть больше веса и чуть-чуть меньше приседаний. Но в основном, в принципе, просто поддерживаю, все время приседаю не с очень тяжелым весом.
Thank you.
Thank you.